Okay, I'll call the meeting to order for the Derby Inland Wetlands Agency. First item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. It's 7:03. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Paul Denise. Paul Padilla. He's here. Jennifer DeRoche.
Present.
She's here. Ray Bowers. Lynn Van Aken. She's absent. Okay, so the record should reflect you do have a quorum present, Mr. Chair.
The next item on the agenda is the Derby Inland Wetlands Agency election of officers, and those officers are the chairman and secretary. Normally we do this at our January meeting, and that meeting was canceled, so we'll be doing that now to fill in until our next election in January. So there are two officers, the chairman and the secretary basically fills in when the chairman is not present at a meeting.
Entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we elect Paul Denise as chairman.
I second it, Jennifer.
Any discussion?
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Any other nominations?
I nominate.
Let's get a vote
I
on
gotta
it.
vote, I'm sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's unanimous.
For the office of secretary?
I nominate Jennifer DeRoche. Sorry about my throat. Second.
Any discussion on the matter or any other nominations? There being none, the vote, all in favor? Aye. Portion of the meeting. If anyone would like to speak on any wetlands issues or thoughts or concerns and wants to address the agency, now would be the time to do that. Yes, John. This would not be any testimony or comments on the application before us tonight.
Okay, my name is John Caparelli. I'm 59 Summit Street in Derby. My main concern is I wanted to get a confirmation that there will be a public meeting for the proposed application. Is that correct?
I think, John, that's the next item on the agenda. And what the commission has to do is take a look at the application and determine whether or not it is, has a substantial impact on the wetlands. So it's not yet been determined. There's a second way to hold a public hearing as well. And that is if there is a petition submitted by it's 25 residents. So
When does this petition have to be submitted?
The statutory requirements are that the petition would have to be submitted 14 days after receipt of the application. Receipt of the application is defined by statute as today.
The committee will not be acting on this today, is that correct?
No, we will not be. And in fact, we cannot act on any application until 14 days after the receipt of an application. So the date of receipt is today. And we could not, on any application, cannot act on it within 14 days of that receipt.
And is the next meeting scheduled for September?
Yes, we have, but again, if we're going to hold a public hearing, we haven't set a date on that yet.
Right.
And we have to first determine that there's a significant impact. And if we determine that, then we would schedule a public hearing.
But if you have an opinion about the public hearing or not, you should express it to the board. If you have an opinion about.
Oh, I definitely have an opinion, and I think that not only does it affect, I mean, the wetland committee is concerned about obviously water flow, but this affects many, many people. There's probably over 200 homes in the area that would be affected by, if this project goes forward. So I think it's a major concern, and it would be a really injustice if you didn't have a public meeting. So,
Thank you, John.
okay.
And
Thank you.
I would point out though, that just for the public's awareness on this, that this agency is charged with oversight of wetlands and watercourses in areas upland. Pretty narrow window, those areas. So, a lot of the concerns that the public may have about this application may not be under the jurisdiction of this commission. This commission's has a very narrow jurisdiction over wetlands and watercourses. So I just want to make that clear for the public and reminder of the agency itself that it's a fair.
Sandy, no program, no project can go forward without your blessing. Is that correct?
The no activity can occur without this agency's approval of activities within and within 50 feet of any wetlands or watercourses. So that is the charge of this commission, this agency. I keep saying commission, I'm going to use those interchangeably, but with this agency. So their focus is limited to the activities and the impacts associated with wetlands.
All right.
So that's a very, just to keep everyone focused on the purview of this board.
But once again, if you don't have the approval, you cannot proceed with the project within 50 feet of.
Essentially, essentially, yes.
Right.
In the manner in which the application is shown, yes, that is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone on Zoom that has a comment or concern? Okay. There being none, we'll go down to agenda item number 5. Inland Wetlands application submitted by Summit Hill LLC, care of Attorney Dominic Thomas, 315 Main Street, Derby. Summit Street Assessors Map 9-6, lots 47 and 47B, and Mountain Street Assessors Map 8-9, lots 94 and 94B, activity address. The purpose of the proposed activity is to connect the proposed Summit Hill R-5 subdivision to Coon Hollow Road. The activity is for the construction of 25 new residential duplex units, duplex houses, and 8 single-family detached dwellings on the 2 parcels totaling 17.725 acres at the end of Summit Street. As I already mentioned, part of our charge is to determine whether or not there's a substantial impact on the wetlands. And, I'll open that up to the board to discuss that in a minute. But I just want to point out that under the definitions section of our regulations, I think it's section 2, it defines significant activity, and it gives 8 different conditions which would constitute a substantial impact. And certainly at least half of them would constitute a substantial impact and make it a substantial activity. So that's my personal feeling, and you can add in your concerns. A public, and then section 9.1 requires that a public hearing shall be held on all applications involving a significant activity. So if we find that it is a significant activity, we would hold a public hearing on this application. And I'll open it up to any discussion or concerns that the board might have.
A few more points regarding this application, Mr. Chair, if I may. If the agency determines that the activity is significant pursuant to the definitions of significant activity, any of items 1 through 8, I would urge the agency to state the reasons on the record why which numbers of the definition of significant activity that may apply to that determination, And also keep in mind that if the agency determines it to be a significant activity, the applicant shall comply with section 7.5 of the regulations, which have additional application requirements for consideration. I can tell you in my initial review of this application, I have not done a thorough review, but I do have personally concerns that the intensity of the activity has the potential to cause siltation and sedimentation in a wetlands or watercourse, which is number 4. Has the potential to substantially change the natural channel of a watercourse system, has the potential to cause the pollution of a wetland or watercourse, and certainly number 8 has the number 6, any activity which cause or has potential to cause pollution of a wetland or watercourse. So, and of course, number 8, which is any activity which involves the construction or destruction of basins for the purpose of retention and or detention. So, those are items that I think are important to consider. This is a rather large development which will involve significant site work. Most of it, the majority of it draining down and discharging immediately into the watercourse in question. So that's my initial take, and the decision by the agency will help guide both the public and the applicant as to the procedures needed for this particular application.
Do you think I should read those items into the record, or?
You can. I would also note, and this is something that's been shared with the applicant and their attorney, that we do have also concerns related to the connection to Coon Hollow Road as proposed. That is shown across land now formerly owned by the city of Derby. It is the applicant's position, as I understand it, that this is essentially a very large right-of-way along Coon Hollow Road. Our review of relevant documents about property ownership suggests that it is city-owned property, but not the right-of-way at Coon Hollow Road. So that is another consideration that potentially affects this application, and that's the ability for the applicant to connect to Coon Hollow Road as shown.
Ryan, I didn't see a report from a licensed soil scientist or any test pits dug that showed any of the soil conditions in the property.
There was a report prepared by hold on.
Yeah,
There's a wetland report that was prepared dated April 8th, 2025 by William Kenny Associates, and then submitted today. It did not get shared with the members, but dated today, well, it was dated yesterday, but it was sent electronically today. And it is a wetland impact assessment from William Kenny Associates.
but he is not a soil scientist.
I believe Mr. Kenny
Is?
is a certified soil
He is,
scientist.
okay.
Yes.
Did that go to staff, Ryan?
It
Yes.
went to staff, but it did not get disseminated to, it just came in today electronically.
So Lisa has it?
I believe she was included on the
So
email.
he is a soil scientist?
My understanding is that he is a soil scientist, yes.
Did he submit any information in terms of test pits and soil samples that were taken?
I don't believe there's anything included in the application
I
that
didn't
has,
see any. That's why I'm asking. And it didn't really say he was certified, so at least that's been taken care of.
I believe Mr. Kenny is.
Okay.
I can't
Okay,
verify his credentials, but I know he's been practicing a long time in the soil science world. So I believe he's
Well-
qualified.
So as an initial matter, we would make that determination, significant activity.
well, I think it's important because if soil testing wasn't done by a soil scientist,
Well,
it's very difficult to know what we're looking at.
I would say this, you have a delineation prepared by a certified soil scientist. In order for them to make that delineation, they have to have field data that suggests, and they don't do it by test pits. They do it by a handheld auger. So they wouldn't.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah. So they've identified regulated wetlands that are alongside Coon Hollow Road. And it's discussed in the April 8th document that was submitted with the application. In terms of other soil data on the property, there's been none submitted as part of this application.
Okay.
But the wetlands were delineated by a soil scientist, and a impact assessment has been submitted as of today. And that's it. That along with the site plans prepared by Rose Tizo and company.
Are there any thoughts from any other agency members, whether it's a significant activity? And again, that it's under the definition section of our regulations. It's one of the definitions. It's
I
Section
believe it
2.
is.
I agree.
Ray, just put down your mic and just say that again. So.
Paul, I believe that it is a significant activity.
And Jennifer, I agree also.
Paul Padilla, I also agree.
okay. If we're all in agreement, maybe we'll take a motion on that matter or
I think
make that determination.
If we could, I would just, again, I would urge that, if you do determine to be significant, that you suggest perhaps in accordance with sections, definition number 2, 4.
One as well.
Yeah,
I would,
but it could be, you could just say it with all definitions. With all,
the reason why I asked about the testing is without that information, it's pretty open that we know that certain of these conditions certainly fit a significant activity, but it's unclear whether or not, how do you make that determination in a couple other ones if there's been no testing?
I would suggest that the soil scientist he
Okay.
visited the site and
Okay.
he, in order to make that determination, he would have had to have,
Yeah, I know he gave a
Correct.
July date that when he was on the site.
yeah, so. I think that I'd be willing to consider his delineation as evidence that he's looked at the soils.
Do we want to go condition by condition here through all 8, or how do we want to do this?
I don't think that's necessary. I think you can make
Yeah,
a determination that it fits the one or more of the items of one through.
Yeah, and
8.
especially with the information that we have before us, I don't want to, I don't want to, not include an item that,
Yeah, okay.
so I'm just going to say it meets the definition of a significant activity and, go from there.
So perhaps a motion, Mr. Chair, could be that, that this is a significant activity in the context of the regulations.
Yes.
So someone would have to make that, of course.
Does anyone want to make a motion to that effect?
You can just repeat what I just said.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that the board adopt that this is a significant activity. And in reviewing the terms for significant activity, the board feels that in one way or another, each one of these is impacted, all 8 in some way.
And therefore have a public hearing.
And therefore, we should have a public hearing.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Is there any discussion? Okay. All in favor? Aye. Okay, now that we have established that we're gonna have a public hearing, we need a date for that public hearing.
So, Mr. Chair, I pointed out in our status report, the status report that I shared with the members, that this application was submitted by the applicant's attorney on July 9th, 2025. And why that's important is that that's the second Wednesday of July. Connecticut general statutes define when the date of receipt of an application is, okay? And the date of receipt, and this is verbatim from the statutes, the date of receipt of a petition, application, request, or appeal shall be the day of the next regularly scheduled meeting of such commission, board, or agency immediately following the day of submission to such commission, board, or agency. It goes on. So the information was submitted July 9th, which was the date of the regularly scheduled meeting, but the clock starts at the next meeting, the day after the submission. So that would be today. And the reason why that's important is because if the date of receipt is today, you have 65 days to open the public hearing per statutes without requesting an extension. So what does that mean? That means you can hold the hearing at your regular scheduled meeting in September. You can open the hearing at the regular scheduled meeting in October, or anytime in between, or anytime before that. But the requirement for notification is that we have at least 14 days to place notice in the paper. And the applicant also, I believe, is responsible for notifying abutting property owners to some degree or another, which I'll make sure we hash out with counsel and the applicant's attorney. So with that, you can schedule the public hearing as far ahead as the regular meeting in October. That's the takeaway.
What's the feeling? How long do you need to review this, Ryan?
Well, I typically in a case like this, the expectation I would think from the board is that you would want myself to review from an engineering perspective, particularly stormwater design, stormwater management, water quality design, sediment and erosion control, and perhaps have one of our soil scientists review potential impacts. So I would need at least 3 to 4 weeks to complete that review. I can prepare a fee estimate for that, which can be shared with the members and with the chief of staff, mayor's office. If we get authorization to proceed, I think that would be something that would take 3 to 4 weeks to process.
I would, yeah,
October 8th, I think is the next.
hold up or something like that. Then it gets delayed. If you're saying 4 weeks now, I think we should do October.
Okay.
Yeah. Madam Secretary. Somebody would need to make a motion.
Right.
I make a motion that we have the public hearing at our regular scheduled meeting in October.
There's a sec.
Which is the 8th. Second Wednesday of October.
That's
is the
correct,
8th.
October 8th.
I second the motion.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passed. I think, let's see.
So what I would recommend for the members, and this is something for discussion as well, you have the option of having a field walk, a scheduled field walk with the members of this agency. If it's a scheduled field walk that has a quorum, it will require public notice and the public will be invited to walk. Alternately, you can walk the site on your own. If there's anything that you would want to see identified in the field, we can make that request to the applicant that they identify certain features in the property. I suspect, based on the report from Mr. Kenny, that the wetlands are flagged. And those are right alongside Coon Hollow Road, right alongside the entrance, the main driveway entrance of, just want to get the name of the condo right. I believe it's Summit.
Yeah.
Summit
Hills.
Summit Commons, thank you. Summit Commons, so they're looking to connect this road right at the driveway of Summit Commons. So if you're looking to take a look at the wetlands themselves, really all you probably have to do is go park alongside Coon Hollow Road, look at the driveway up to Summit Commons, and the wetlands should be delineated in the field. It's a roadside, it's right alongside the Coon Hollow Road itself, so.
Did the applicant give us permission to walk the property?
A permission is granted by virtue of the application form itself and your regulations.
It's connecting driveway is near the Summit Commons entrance.
It is.
Okay. Do you want to do that?
My personal opinion is I'd rather go by myself. If we schedule a special meeting, it tends to bring a large crowd of people. You know, that's my feeling.
So I would urge the members all to go out individually, and then at the public hearing, you can state whether or not you've, viewed the site or viewed the wetlands on the property or on the application. And we'll proceed from there.
Might be important also though to see the uplands area. Because of again, the intensity of the earthwork that's proposed. You take a look at the contours, you can get an idea of how much material is actually going to be removed.
And the site can be viewed also from the end of Summit Road. So if you go to the end of Summit Road, that's that this property abuts the end of that street. Also, you can access the property from Mountain Road, although that would be a little tricky to make sure you stay on,
Prior,
that you don't trespass on a private property. So I would recommend that if you do want to go to the site from the top, go up Summit Road, look at the end, and you can walk directly to the site from there. The linear wetlands are located down in Coot Hollow, so it's a very steep site and it's very tricky to walk around. So I would urge caution if you're going up there.
Can the public walk property?
Absolutely not. Not without permission from the owner.
It's not far from where they had all those big floods when they were putting in the football field, right? Right, that's not far from where everything was flooded out with the football fields.
It's
That
it's
wasn't as
not
much water if it's
far.
deep now. We got it really.
It's not far, but it's in the neighborhood, I'll say.
Was there a motion made for the October 8th meeting?
Yeah, it was.
There was a motion and it was voted.
Yes.
Okay, no, all in favor. Okay, thank you, Marty.
We were just talking about a possible field walk.
Yes, all right.
So is the consensus no field walk?
Seems to be it.
yeah, unless some, the commission feels different. The agency feels different.
Better, we don't do it as a meeting.
Yeah.
Now, if we don't make a special meeting, we all can go together then, right?
Correct.
Well, you can have two members go together.
I would urge not to.
Okay.
Just go into.
Not even two?
Singles.
Yeah, and if somebody does feel the need to be, I can make myself available if that's preferred.
Okay,
And that you could just reach out to me
okay.
or Kevin for that matter. Kevin White.
Any other discussion on this matter? Okay, our final item on the agenda, now if we have any bills. Like payment of bills, we have none. Okay. That being said,
But don't forget the on the revised agenda. I don't know which one was to set the meeting schedule for the rest.
is that on the revised agenda?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
It's on the
I
revised.
didn't know that.
The one that Lisa had, she had printed it out before
Oh, okay.
I did that, so.
All right, then, I think I sent out everyone, actually a revised meeting schedule. We're proposed to meet again on the second Wednesday of every month, September 10th, October 8th, November 12th, and December 10th. I think it's even in our regulations, right, Ryan?
Yes.
Yes, even in our regulations. But we should probably have a formal approval of that, of the schedule. Somebody can make a motion on that.
I make a motion that we accept the schedule as proposed.
Jennifer, I second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. With that, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
All those in favor? We adjourned at about 7:30.
No, it was amended like